I was so lucky. I got to go to high school and kind of have a high school, as much of a high school experience as I could have. I went to this Catholic high school in Vancouver, and whenever with the uniform and everything, and whenever I wasn't working, I would come back and go back to school.
What's that like?
Crazy. I had kind of the same. What's great is I had the same kind of set friends from high school when I started doing Stranger Things when I was in grade 8, and I did 6 months of grade 8, and then I left and did 6 months in Atlanta shooting Stranger Things, and I came back for grade 9, and the show was out, and it was very different.
Yeah, you were famous. Like, you became famous.
I know. Well, that was the thing, is that it was like, yeah, I went to school kind of with the same kind of core group of friends, like these 5 people or 4 people, and then I came back, and thank God I still had those same people. I really didn't like make friends with anyone else throughout that time. I just had the same people, but I definitely was weird. Like, I was treated different, and I came back, and like the kids that I had never spoken to were coming up to me and asking me for pictures and stuff like that. And it was crazy. I would say, like, they got used to it pretty early on. I had an amazing school, but the funniest part, I think, was going back for grade 12. And the grade 8s didn't know that I went to the school. Usually what happens is, like, the vice principal kind of gives like a little, I don't know, just says that some people go here, lets them know that I went there, and they didn't know. And so people kind of freaked out when they found out that I was there, and it was pretty funny.
Freaked out how? What do you mean?
Well, they had no, like, some people had watched the show, I guess, and I walked past them, and they kind of just did a double take, and like I was in their same uniform, and like they were just totally like kind of speechless, and they were running up to each other like, is that him? Like, is that the guy? Like, does he go to our school? Like, they were so, so they would run up and kind of like almost look like if I was like a real or not, like a entity or a ghost or something like that.
But you never felt like you were missing out on a typical. I mean, were you ever jealous of your friends who got to have maybe more than normal?
Early on I was. Like, grade 9 I was, grade 10 I was, and then I kind of started to figure out that, like, I really, really liked what I was doing. There's a reason why I don't like being in a classroom. I loved my school, and I loved a lot of my teachers, but I couldn't really be, like, from an early age, like, domesticated. I couldn't sit still, and I couldn't really focus on things that didn't interest me. So, like, English, was my only class that I was good at and had an A in. And that was the only thing that I paid attention to, really. So I was like, oh man, I wish, but then, I'd hear friends party story, house party stories or whatever. And I just kind of get like, first I'd get like a little like, oh man, I wish I was there. And then kind of as I got older, I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, I was like, I love my job too much to not do that. And, but like, now I'm at a position where I'm out of school and I can have a lot of life experience that isn't, that kind of thing. And I'm totally proud of it. And yeah, I can live vicariously.
As a guy who went drinking a lot in the woods in high school, you didn't really, you didn't miss out on a whole lot. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was pretty good, but it's okay.